Can you buy a property within the family or from your relatives? Hi, I'm Amol Heda with Keller Williams Bay Estates and author of Thriving Through Ownership. So this is a question I keep getting asked very often. Can we just buy a property or close a transaction within family? And the answer is, or the short answer is, yes. But I always say that for every short answer, I have a long version of it. And I'm going to give it here today. So, can you buy a property from a family member? Absolutely yes. But here are a few things to watch. Or let's first talk about the advantages. The advantages are that if you're buying from within the family member, you might get a much better price, particularly if parents are trying to help their kids buy a property. They will of course do a much better price. Or say brothers or sisters, they are helping each other by selling or buying a property. That case also, they might have a consideration for price. So based on the National Association of Realtor statistics, a property that gets sold on open market through agents, the median price at the time that the research was published was $318,000. And a property that gets sold off market without an agent gets about $100,000 less. So while it might be a good deal for the buyers if they can get their hands on one, but it's a very bad deal, or sellers will lose substantial equity if they are selling their property off market. So if you think that, a lot of times there is a thinking that this will not involve buyers and sellers commission, agents commissions, and that might be the saving, maybe. But if they are going to get a 25 to 30% lower price, guess what is more worth? Paying that arbitrage to realize the full market value. So that's the advantage and disadvantage right there. Now, number two, when you are doing a transaction within the family, there is a chance that you just have clear terms. You might think there is not much paperwork and things will go smooth. So we can think of it as an advantage, because if you're giving the property to your kids, will you worry too much about how much paperwork to do? Absolutely not. So it makes the transaction much simpler, or that's the perception. Now, let's look at the challenges. The first and the biggest challenge is that there is a non-equitable pricing that happens between the buyer and seller. We just cannot assume that the seller got the full price or the buyer paid the full price or the buyer got a good deal. Even after cutting the price, the buyer might think, oh, I could have perhaps gotten this price from the market. So you have to be very careful on how the value comes through. Not just from that end. The lender investigates a transaction which is not at arm's length. So what is an arm's length transaction and not an arm's length transaction? An arm's length transaction is something where the buyer and seller don't know each other. And because they don't know each other, there is no favoritism or price consideration that's going under. So the lender, in fact, needs higher down payment in lots of cases. When it is within the family, they need stricter appraisal norms when you're doing that transaction. So that's one. Additionally, if you're trying to sell the property within family, then when the seller, say parents, are giving it away to their kids and they are trying to help with the price, and that's called as gift of equity. And the IRS makes more analysis when there is a gift of equity involved in a transaction. So that's the second thing to watch out for. Having clear paperwork is sometimes not required or not looked upon, but if things go murky, having clear paperwork is always very important. So remember that aspect of it. Now, coming to what are the things to care for when you're doing a transaction within the family. So getting a very good appraisal so that it shows up the market value, getting clear documentation, that's very important. And number 3, be aware of any legal or tax consequences when you're doing this. Talk to your tax consultant when you're trying to put this transaction within the family together, because IRS could come at you and do a much more detailed analysis. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions about this kind of a thing, of course I'm here to read so that I can help. Thanks for your time and thanks for watching this video. If you think this is helpful, please share with your friends or family. See you on my next one. Bye.